YouTube? How's it going today? So today I want to discuss a little bit about homelessness. Okay, so why are there so many homelessness? Well, could be numerous reasons why someone's homeless, right? What a lot of people see is mental illness and drug and alcohol abuse, right? Well, there's other avenues of why people end up being homeless. And I foresee there's going to be a lot more homeless here in a little while. And you ask, why is that? Well, if you look at everything that's going on, right? The price of everything's skyrocketing. Okay? And the housing market keeps going up and up and up in price. Like if you're, renting an apartment, how much are you spending per month? It depends on the area that you live in too. Okay? Some areas are cheaper than others, but relatively speaking, it's going up in price. Okay? So let's take, you're paying $900 a month for an apartment. Then you factor in that 900 becomes more than 900 a month just for that apartment, because you got all these other fees associated with it. So now you're at $920, $930 a month. Then that's just your rent, right? So with that being said, a lot of people are not going to be able to continue to afford these places. You got all these other bills that are in your life. Gas in your car, your electric bill, your gas bill, your car insurance, your basic food, okay? And it just keeps going up and up and up. I mean, where does it stop? If you think about it, really, it's going to come to a point where things are going to start coming crashing down. Homelessness, I believe, trying to think of the word to say here. It's being created by our government, and people are going to be like, no, it's not. People, well, if you're not making enough money, that's you. Well, if you're not making enough money, why are you not making enough money? Well, let's look at that. You're working every day, but yet they keep raising the prices. So your job is going to keep you at the same rate. You get a raise every year, but how much is that raise? 50 cents? So what's that going to, do? 50 cents is not going to do much extra, okay? So you look at all the different aspects of why somebody could end up being homeless. Now, in certain areas, being homeless is illegal. So now, if somebody's homeless and they get arrested for being homeless, then they get more fines. Depending on where you live, they get more fines. And so when they get released, now they have another bill to pay the state. See, homelessness is not, you need to be in a home and whatnot. It's, we're going to create this problem. The government creates the problem. The government is the one that brought the drugs in, because it gets the people addicted to it. And then they could create the problem because the government wants there always to be a problem. Then they come out, oh, we need to combat this, okay? We need to combat this problem that they created. That's the only thing about it, is the government creates the problem, and then they leave it to the civilian, and then they're like, well, now it's your problem. Hey, you're not making enough money? Well, we don't care. We're the government. We got all the money. We got money. We got mansions. We steal your taxes. We steal your money. Huh, you're poor? Huh. That's okay, because I'm not poor. I'm the government. So, who cares about you, the civilian? That's the whole thing about it. Government does not care about us. So, why is homelessness illegal? So the government can make money off of us. You see, government is the problem. And the banking industry is the problem. They keep raising the prices on housing. They keep raising the prices on food. They raise the price on everything else in between. And then the civilian, you and me, get more taxes taken out because they are creating this situation. They are creating the homeless population. Right? So, by them creating the problem, raising everything across the board, it's making it harder and harder for the civilian to live. And then you got people, well, no, that's your fault because you're not going to school and you're not making more money. So don't blame the government. Well, in fact, did I say, raise the gas price? Did I say, raise this because I want to spend more money? No. We're not saying any of that. We're hurting. Pretty soon there's not going to be a middle class. There's only going to be two classes. It's going to be the poor and the rich. The rich are going to still keep getting rich because the rich are greedy pieces of crap. It's the whole thing about it. The rich are pieces of crap. Then they look down on the poor class. You see, and then the other part of the homeless problem is you got these military veterans that come home, fighting for their government, and then they say, the government says, well, we don't care about you. You did what we asked. Go fend for yourself now. That's the problem that we got going on here. So homelessness and off-grid living. So, like if you go to live up in the mountains, right? You're technically homeless, but you're living off-grid. They don't want that. They want you in their little cities where they can monitor your every single move. Where they can steal all your money. Meanwhile, the government is getting richer off of us. So, again, why is homelessness illegal? Because it's all about control. If you go live up in the mountains, you could be self-sufficient. I get it. I see it. I see the homeless population down in the valley, okay? I see the ones that are all on drugs. I see that problem. But, again, who brought the drugs in? Our government is the one that created the drug epidemic. to get people addicted to it, to get people to commit the crimes, because that's what the government wants. They want that, because then it plays into their agenda. You see? It plays into their agenda. They bring it in to create the problem, so then they can say we need a solution. Then they create the solution that fits their agenda. Keep locking people up because of this. Don't get them the help that they need. Because why get them the help that they need from someone, from the problem that the government started initially, right? That's the whole thing about it. The government creates the issue, then they create the solution, and the solution is part of their agenda. You see? That's how it works. So now you look at the off-grid lifestyle. Technically you're homeless because you're living out in the wilderness, surviving and thriving out in the wilderness. Government does not want that, because government is evil. They are evil, 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 you see. So that's the whole issue behind that. The government is evil. That's all they do, is evil stuff. So eventually I want to go off-grid. But off-gridding is technically illegal. Because then they can say, well, you're living in the mountains and we can't have that because you're living in an area and you're living for free. And we can't have that because we need to make taxes off you. If you buy a house, you pay property taxes, right? Then, you need to be hooked up to public service, electric and gas type companies, okay? Because they don't want you making the electricity. There's so many ways of making electricity. There's so many ways of living without actually living in a cityfied way, you see? But government, like always, is the piece of crap that says, well, you can't do that. So that's why, now if you look at homelessness in the cities, it's bad, okay? Because it was created to be that way. It was created by the government to be that way. For a reason. To push their agenda. That's the only thing about it. They wanted to push an agenda, so that's what they're doing. That's why the drugs are here in our society. So it can make that bad element. The government was the one that created that bad element, So, with that being said, they keep raising the prices of housing, so eventually a lot more people are going to be homeless. So is it in their agenda to create all this homelessness and then to force them into FEMA camps, aka re-education camps, to re-educate us crazy people and all the other people that don't think anything's gonna happen, because they're all like, no, that stuff ain't gonna happen here in America. Hell, it can't. The government won't let it, right? Well, yeah, the government won't let it. And rain don't fall from the sky, right? Okay? They're pushing to get us into these FEMA camps. They're pushing to get us into their prison system. because it's in their agenda. We really need to start fighting for our rights. If you want to go live up in the mountains, go live up in the mountains. It shouldn't be frowned upon. But then you have the other people, oh, well, if you do that, that's not normal, because you need to be in the city, because in the city, that's where normal people live, and we all be slaves in the city. If you go out to live in the wilderness, well, that's just not normal, because in the city you have the stores where you can go spend the money and then spend more taxes. So, because you got to spend taxes because, the government needs our money because, well, they need the money. They're running out of money, right? Because they're the government, and we need to keep supplying them. But meanwhile, they keep pushing this whole freaking agenda crap on us. To keep passing laws. Every day a new law comes out. Every day we're breaking a law that we don't even know about. That's exactly what's happening. Right? Eventually, part of the Agenda 21, which is aka Agenda 30 now, is to push people out of the country areas. I can never say the other word. Rural. I can't say it. So I'm just going to say countryside. Okay? They want to push everyone out of there, get them all into the city, because, this is really illegal if you go live up in the mountains. I live in an apartment. I hate it. I come out to the mountains, right? I'm up in the mountains right now. Just doing a little hiking before work, So, you look at how nice it would just to be living like they did way back in the day. And we have technology that we can use to make it simpler to live out here. But that's not normal. Because being normal is living in an apartment where you got people on the side of you, on the bottom of you, on top of you. Whew. I'm going up the side of a mountain right now. But they want to manipulate everybody into thinking that down there is normal. But in reality, all those new houses being built, what real privacy do you have? What do you really have? You don't even have a backyard. You can't even go outside. You might have a little shoebox yard. Well, what are you gonna do in that? But there's people out there that want to live like that because it's totally, oh yeah, I got the granite countertops, and I go outside to the concrete and whatnot. That's what they're aiming for. So just remember this. It's not illegal to be homeless. It's not illegal to live off grid. But to our government it is. Because our government is so out of hand